All right, one of the things I do during the formatting process is I pay attention to what's called H&J violations. What that means is hyphenation and justification violations. Now, it's not going to show any hyphenation. I don't know why they call it H&J violations. It should just be J violations. And what that means is where InDesign could not set the text to your justification settings. Okay, so there is something in that particular line that is breaking the justification settings. Now, the justification settings are not alignment, okay? That's often confused. Alignment is where you have left, right, center, left justify, right justify, full justify. That's called alignment. Justification is actually the word spacing, letter spacing, and glyph scaling with that particular line of text. Okay, so in our template, the justification settings are set to, word spacing is actually set to 85%, and the maximum is 115. Now you'll notice in my document, I have tweaked them a little bit. This is something that you may want to do, is tweak those justification settings in certain documents with certain fonts. And for this, and also it depends on the size of the book. So I will tweak those justification settings just so the type will look a little bit better. Now, if you're not sure if you have a lot of violations, you'll need to go to Edit, Preferences, and it is under Advanced Type. No, I'm sorry, Composition, and turn on H&J violations. Okay, this will show you those violations in yellow. And I think I've done a video on this before, so you can also look at that other video if you want more details. So what happens is the lighter yellow color mean that it's not as a severe violation, right? Whereas the darker yellow means it's more severe. So what that's going to do, if we look at our print preview here, that line looks pretty spaced out. Whoops. But this line looks okay, all right? So what can we do about these lines? Well, in some cases we can't do anything, but in this particular line, there is one thing we can do, is we can tell it to hyphenate the demogorgons, okay? So we can create an override in this particular line and say hyphenate capitalized words, because it's not capitalizing that because it is a demogorgon. And so now it has hyphenated that, okay? Now you could also, in cases where it didn't hyphenate, you could actually add a discretionary hyphen. And let's see if it will allow us to do it here. So we need to hyphenate. All right, so it still worked on that one too. So in some cases, you may want to add a discretionary hyphen if you cannot get it to hyphenate where you want it to. So in that situation, you would go to Type, you would go to Insert Special Character, hyphens and dashes, and a discretionary hyphen. And the shortcut code for discretionary hyphen is Control-Shift-hyphen. And so you'll notice that now InDesign changed the location of the hyphen to be after demo. So that is a little bit about discretionary hyphens and H&J violations. And the beauty about using discretionary hyphens over just faking it and putting in a hyphen yourself is that discretionary hyphens will go away, meaning when you get ready to export this as an ebook, that hyphen will not come through. Whereas if we just manually did a hyphen and put a hard line break at the end, well, that hyphen and that hard line break would come through. So that is the beauty of discretionary hyphens, because we don't have to think about removing them for the ebook.